Have you been to a university campus? Do you agree that a campus is a positive place where students can go and have fun with friends? Despite our excitement on campus, there are still some bizarre things going on. Mysterious things? Ever heard a woman's voice screaming in pain? The room door opened and was invaded at night? Have you ever experienced this situation? How did you feel then? Are you sure life on campus is a life free of murder? Let's unravel this with me. Today, I would like to talk about horrifying stories of murder on the college campuses, and my 3 points are: first, a female student was kidnapped, robbed, and shot to death in the street. Second, rape, strangled, and tossed dead into a creek on campus. Third, rape and murdered in a dorm room. So I have done with my introduction. Let's start the first horrifying story, which is about a female student who was kidnapped, robbed, and shot to death in the street. Eve Carson is the best described as a super student. She was kind, beautiful, wonderful, and full scholarship student. And she was also the student president of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill until early morning on 5 March 2008. On 5 March 2008, a couple of strangers entered her house from campus, then threatened and kidnapped her. They stopped on the ATM and withdrew $1,000 from Carson's account. Shortly before dawn, the kidnapper released Carson near the campus and then shot her repeatedly in the street. Police found her body at 5 a.m. and found that he had gunshot wound on her head, including a catastrophic one. According to police, Carson's kidnapping and murder was completely arbitrary. Two suspects, Demario James Atwood and Lawrence Elvin Lovett Jr., have been charged with murder. Due to their action had been caught by ATM security video, they are also charged with criminal theft, kidnapping, possessing with weapon, and armed robbery. Both men were found guilty of most of the charges, but both reached a settlement to save them from the death penalty and sentenced to life imprisonment in the large prison. Scary, is it? Just now, I have told you about my first story about a female student was kidnapped, robbed, and shot to death in the street. Next story is about a female student was raped, strangled, and tossed dead into a creek on campus. Haruka Weiser, 18, was a student at the University of Texas at Austin. She was a dedicated student in theater major as well as a trained ballerina. One evening in April 2016, she was staying late at the University Drama Building. She was never returned to her hostel and was reported missing. After 3 days, her body was found floating in a creek right on the university campus. Her mother was reported to the police and had come to a conclusion that she has been sexually assaulted, strangled to death, and then thrown in a creek. All the community at the university was petrified and shocked by the incident. Because all the uproar about the murder, Sullivan demanded police to search for all inhuman culprits who would do such a thing to a young student. A few days later, a homeless teenager named Michael Kramer was arrested and charged with Weiser's murder. But how do investigators find out who was the culprit? The son of Kramer riding a bicycle on the campus was caught by the campus security cameras, and the video footage showed when he returned from his path to follow Weiser. Other than that, a local came forward and told police that they have seen Kramer burning something somewhere around the campus. Apparently, he was burning the bag, which investigators include was Weiser's backpack. Have you had enough? Don't fret, I still have one scarier story to tell you. So I have done with my second story about a female student was raped, strangled, and tossed dead into a creek on campus. Now let's move on. On the third story is a real heart-wrenching, which is a student was raped and murdered in a dorm room. In April 1986, around 6 a.m., a freshman university student, Jen Clary, 18, was sleeping in her dorm room when Joseph and Henry, who was also a student of the university, broke in. She did not know him personally, and neither did he. Henry probably had more than robbery on his mind that morning because he had drinking most of the night. When Clary woke up, Henry raped her and then strangled her to death. Henry was immediately arrested and charged. After a year, he was convicted of his murder and sentenced to death. Due to poor security on Lehigh campus, where this incident took place, it angered Clary's parents and eventually sued the university over the murder of their daughter. They used the fund to pass the Congress strictly to enact what became known as a Jane Clary Act and required that every U.S. college and university to publish an annual report that provide details on all matters related to campus safety policy, as well as 3 years of campus crime statistics. So now, I have done talking about my third story of victim being raped and murdered in a dorm room. Finally, let's move on to the conclusion. So everyone, I have done talking about 3 horrifying stories of murder in the college campuses, which are: first, female student kidnapped, robbed, and shot to death in street. Second, rape, strangled, and tossed dead into a creek on campuses. Third, raped and murdered in a dorm room. The end of the word. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. Surround yourself with people who take care of you as well. By Mama Zara. I don't trust word, I trust vibe. People can tell you anything, but the vibe tell you everything. I end my speech with short video of advice from Allah. Don't worry too much. Allah will protect us. Thank you.
We need to understand you don't have to add worries that you don't need to add in your life or upon your brain, your mind and your system and even your heart. You rely upon Allah. He will definitely take care of you.